Hey everybody, it's Positivity Rekindled, and I just wanted to give you something to think about today as we continue to strive for more positivity in our daily lives and our daily routines. Is that we are often surrounded by a lot of negativity. And I think that comes in large part in today's world by the negative news media coverage that we are constantly bombarded with if we tune into the news at all. And we see this, the news on TV and in social media, where it's just constantly negative story after negative story. If there is a positive story ever covered, it's usually a footnote or an afterthought. So much attention is given towards negativity. And I think this is something that has been growing over the past 30 years or so related to the news and the media, where we have seen over the last 30 years a tremendous consolidation and corporatization of the news, where in today's world you essentially just have a handful of very large corporations that control the vast majority of news information out there. And their messaging is very negative. And the people that consume this negative coverage, it's almost like a moth to a flame. They're drawn in by it, and it feeds itself, not in a good way. It just continues to grow that negativity and perceived helplessness. And it's much easier to control people when they have that negative outlook and they feel helpless about things. And I think that's a large part with the messaging that we see from the corporate news today, is that element of control, that people are so down, they're so negative, and they feel helpless, that they just basically let their media masters run the narrative that they want to run, and they don't even question much because they have this perceived helplessness. It's much more difficult to control people who are positive, who are strong-minded, independent, free thinkers. Those individuals are going to be much harder to control. And I think that's in large part why we see such negative messaging from the media, is because of that element of control and wanting to control people. We want to stay informed about what's going on, but at the same time, are we really being informed if just a handful of large corporations are controlling the narrative and putting the narrative out there that they want consumed? Do we actually know the reality of what's going on? So we have to be careful with our news coverage, because so much of it is negative, and it's so easy to fall into that rut of constantly consuming negative information that it really promotes negativity instead of positivity. We want to be able to detach from that coverage. We want to be able to compartmentalize it, and we want to continue our pursuit of positivity and not let those negative news headlines and constant negative news coverage bring us down. We can't control what they do, what kind of news that they put out, what kind of narrative they ultimately are wanting to sell. We can choose not to support it and not to watch it, but we have the control over our own outlook, and we want to stay as free-minded and as positive and independent thinkers as possible. Just something to think about today. All right, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.